Hi and welcome to Andi Watson Photography episode 2. Now last week I talked about how I tried to inject some character and personality into my portraits. So this week I thought I would talk about one of the ways that I try to do that, and that is by using props. Now there can be several benefits to using props, and I'll be showing you some of my own photos as examples. The first benefit of using props in your portraits is that it really just adds another point of interest to the photo. Let's take a look at these photos of my son Daniel as an example. By getting Daniel to hold the sparkler, we add another element that makes things that bit more interesting. Now, as I was saying last week, good portraiture is really all about character and getting to understand the person in the photo that little bit better, and props can help with that, particularly when it comes to children. These photos here really came alive when we added the girl's favourite soft toy. A prop is a way of letting the viewer into the subject's world, and it gives you a point of reference for what their personality is. A prop doesn't just need to be an object that you interact with, it can also be something that you wear. Everyone knows that kids love to dress up, and so in these next few photos I gave the kids superhero costumes to wear. The costumes act as props that help us bring out the personality of the kids. They add a sense of story, an extra layer to the portraits. With this photo, we can see the costume is changing the behaviour of the child. He's running around like Superman, and so it helps us capture another side of his personality. Another benefit of using props is that it gives the subject something to do. For shy, self-conscious adults, this gets them away from practicing their fake smiles and helps them to relax. And for kids, it focuses their attention and will hopefully keep them still for a couple of minutes. With these next few photos that I'll show you, the child was determined to cling on to his blanket, which apparently he doesn't go anywhere without. His parents and I were pleading with him just to put it down so we could take some portraits of him, but he just wasn't having any of it. So eventually we incorporated it into the portraits. With this first one, you can see that we made a feature of the blanket, getting him to swing it around, which made for a really cool effect and added that extra point of interest to the portrait. With this next photo, the blanket doesn't act so much as a prop, it isn't really an important feature of the portrait, but it helps the subject to feel comfortable enough to relax and for us to get a great, natural, happy smile from him, which just makes for a great picture. Well, I hope that this has been helpful in seeing how adding props can bring many different benefits to your portraits without taking too much attention away from the main subject. Remember, the person being photographed is always the most important element in any portrait. The props just add an extra layer. See you next week.